Well, Rahul Gandhi in the same interview has targeted targeted Narendra Modi, in fact, and he has said that the SIT report giving clean chit to Narendra Modi has been seriously questioned by a number of credible experts. Rahul Gandhi has taken on Narendra Modi directly this time. He also said that talk of a clean chit to Modi is politically expedient but far too premature. Rahul Gandhi, in fact, had given that interview to Press Trust of India, directly attacking Narendra Modi, the BJP's prime ministerial candidate. Now, as the elections, the dates are drawing near, it seems that it's all-out war as far as both the BJP and the Congress is concerned, and their top leadership taking on each other. Gaurav Bhatia of the Samajwadi Party is joining us right now on the interview that Rahul Gandhi had given, and in fact the kind of allegations that he had made. Gaurav, Rahul Gandhi saying that the SIT probe has been questioned as far as Narendra Modi is concerned, taking a direct attack and a jibe on Narendra Modi.
The question here is not of an SIT report and a clean sheet being given to Mr. Narendra Modi. I think there is a larger question that these Godhra riots that happened in Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi was the chief minister of the state then, and under his leadership the riots have taken place. So far we have not even heard a whisper from Mr. Narendra Modi on the Godhra riots. We have not heard his views. He's not apologized to the nation for that. He's not accepted responsibility for that. I think it is too late already. And somewhere we saw a senior leader of the BJP, Mr. Rajnath Singh, asking for apologies from the minority community and later retracted. I think it would have been better had they accepted responsibility for the same. And it was very unfortunate that the entire government senior ministers were involved in orchestrating those riots. Mr. Maya Kodnani, who was part of it, she was convicted by the court.
In the same interview, Rahul Gandhi is also suggesting that the Congress is going to do well and there will be a UPA-III. What role will Samajwadi Party play if there is a possibility of a UPA-III?
No, Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav, our national president, has already made it clear that the Samajwadi Party would be part of a federal front, and they are like-minded regional parties who will fare very well in the forthcoming elections, and this would be an alliance which would provide the nation with an alternate government that would not have the BJP and the Congress, because I think the nation is fed up of corruption as well as, communal politics, and we need an alternate, we need an answer to these two powers, and only the regional parties can give that alternate.
Stay with me for a moment, Mr. Bhatia. I also have our National Affairs Editor Javed Mustafa Ansari joining us on the phone line. Javed, Gaurav Bhatia from the Samajwadi Party very interestingly saying that the nation is fed up of the communal politics, and in the same breath also saying that Narendra Modi has not even apologized for Godhra. You see, there is some sort of a difference in what he's speaking, and of course, both the Congress and the Samajwadi Party eyeing for the minority vote as far as their prospects in the elections are concerned.
Well, that's not something new. They have been. It is no secret that the Congress and the Samajwadi, the BSP, there are lots of claimants to the non-BJP vote. But having said that, there is, as elections draw nearer, the exchanges are only expected to get sharper between those opposed to Mr. Modi and those with Mr. Modi. It would be pertinent to ask Mr. Bhatia of what is the kind of relationship he visualizes between the Samajwadi Party and the Congress post-2014, because his chief minister from UP, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, just the other day at the India Today conclave had said that he expects the Congress to help to play a creative role and to help the formation of a secular government at the center in May 2014.
Precisely, this is what we just asked Gaurav Bhatia, and he said that they will be, in fact, will be helping a secular front. That's what, and also about the third front. Gaurav, Javed, very quickly, this whole idea of the third front that comes around elections, do you think it's a viable option? Do you feel that they will have a major role to play as far as the next elections are concerned?
Ankit, it will all depend on the numbers, how many seats these parties get. whether Mr. Narendra Modi's led NDA combined gets closer to the majority, or whether whether the other regional parties. As of now, there appear to be very little chances of the third front because it's begun floundering even before it took off. The IDMK as well as the BJD, who were one of the mainstays of this proposed front, have decided to distance themselves. So what happens after May 2014 will only be known once the results are out.
Let me take that question to Gaurav Bhatia. Gaurav, already this idea of third front seems to be floundering. There are, in fact, some serious regional players, those who are not even coming together as the way that you wanted, or the Samajwadi Party wanted them to be. How credible and how viable is the option as far as the Samajwadi Party is concerned?
The focus of the Samajwadi Party would be completely right now on winning as many seats as we can from the state of UP. We are well poised. We have delivered in the last 2 years, and we are hoping we'll emerge as one of the largest parties in the country after elections. And these questions would have a more meaning, I guess, as Javedji has just said, that after elections, depending on the numbers and the acceptability of parties, and a common min program needs to be in place, where all the regional parties can come together and can, also provide a stable government. And I must add here that, like Delhi, where the Congress went, out of its way to have a non-BJP government, I would not be surprised if the Congress would also consider that later, whether to support from outside or otherwise. But one thing is clear, that the regional forces are here to stay, and they will do very well in the larger states of the country. That, I think, is a very
Gaurav, is that the game plan of the Samajwadi Party? They are pinning their hopes on the Congress going out of its way not to let Narendra Modi become the Prime Minister. So if you do well, then Mulayam Singh can ask the Congress to support him from outside and become the Prime Minister. Is that the game plan?
No, there is no game plan as such. One thing is clear, that the Samajwadi Party declared their candidates well in advance. Our candidates have been working on the field for the last 1 year. They've been interacting with the voters. They've been able to win their trust.
Yes.
And that is why we are hoping that we will emerge as, the third largest party in the country, as we were in the last elections, increasing our tally, taking it to the highest number ever.
Absolutely. Javed, one quick last question. Narendra Modi already is, his candidature has been announced from Varanasi. How do you see that panning out as far as the 80 seats of Uttar Pradesh are concerned? Because Samajwadi Party has the biggest stake as far as UP is concerned.
It will be it's a very interesting move. It's a significant declaration of intent. Obviously, it's not just one seat of Varanasi that they're looking at. They believe that his candidature will provide the cutting edge to the BJP's campaign in the 28 seats that fall in the Purvanchal region of Uttar Pradesh, as also the some of the Lok Sabha seats in Western Bihar.
We also are now being joined by Jainar Vyas of the BJP. Mr. Vyas, Rahul Gandhi in that interview questioning the SIT report, giving that clean chit to Narendra Modi, saying that experts have raised doubts on that, again raising the bogey as far as the Godhra and 2002 is concerned.
Well, this in itself is a commentary on the apex court of this country, which I feel he would have restrained from making it. The SIT report is not something of any private agency. That has been by the special investigation team which worked under the supervision of the Supreme Court of this country. And then the entire report was placed before the Honorable Supreme Court, and then from there it was sent to trial court. And after considerable deliberation, the trial court has also held this view. Therefore, I think this is the sheer contempt of the judicial process in this country, and a person who is responsible office bearer of a national party. I think better he would have desisted from making this kind of an observation. There is no substance in it.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Vyas, Javed Mustafa Ansari, National Affairs Editor, and Gaurav Bhatia of the Samajwadi Party for joining us on this news stories.